Yes.
No, we start with the coronavirus, let's do that, and then I'll get the ones over.
Give him this.
That's not a current one, is it?
Or it's not.
I'm pulling up the website.
Okay, update, we do have one nursing home with one person testing positive. In the state of West Virginia, that is considered an outbreak. It's the nursing home on Guyon Road, and they have tested 80 employees and 60 residents. The test results are not back, so we don't know if it has spread further. Nursing homes tend to be a population that is heavily at risk.
How do they handle that?
There was an article in the News and Sentinel, as well as I think TAP, and they're saying all the right things, you know, heavy cleanings and temperature checks. But our infection rate stays low, so we're on track for the governor's reopening. Cumulative positive is 2.59. He wanted to make sure that it stayed under 3%. 42,000 people, 43,000 have been tested, 1,100 have come back positive. That's a low infection rate. And
Who's doing the testing where?
They're sending it out. The state lab is doing some. LabCorp said they were shipping a ton of tests up. The medical director of LabCorp is a WVU graduate with both a law degree and a medical degree. And so he went on to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, got a public health degree, healthcare management master's. And so now he's with LabCorp, and the governor's office got him to send a bunch of test swabs up. So it's the swab test. It's going to be poked into your nose, way back into your nasal cavity.
Right below the brain.
Yeah, right in there. I can show you a video of somebody getting it done, and it is not pretty. And then they take that and ship it off to their lab in North Carolina and run the test. That was where the backlog was. They had multiple labs running the test. LabCorp is everywhere. So Quick Care says they'll take they'll test you for COVID. I do not know if they have left the CDC guidelines to send the test in. But then again, I haven't talked to anyone with LabCorp or Quick Care. If you get a test at the hospital, it has to be doctor ordered, and it does follow the CDC guideline if you have either come in close proximity of somebody with it. If that's the case, someone from the health department would have contacted you and told you that you were exposed.
Can you walk across the whole room that way?
It's the Ministry of Silly Walks. So, Woodyard, any PPE coming in?
Yes, sir. We're getting some N95 surgical masks, shields, some gowns, very little gloves, such things as that is coming in. We've been working with the care homes, the local medical trusts. Of course, you know, we do get some requests that we can't do because we're not authorized to do some private stuff. As of yet, we're waiting on guidance for that. So it's been coming in little by little, and with the cleaning process that Marietta Healthcare has offered. So far, I think we're doing fine with some of our PPE requests.
We're never going to get prepared to respond on this one. When we get reopened, we got to be prepared for a second wave. And, you know,
I'm right in saying the second wave will not be somebody flipping a switch. It'll have to
It'll
build,
start stepping
it'll
up.
have to build up. So we'll have an idea.
Yeah, we'll see it coming. But any PPE we can acquire, we want to acquire. And I know you're
Correct. There's 2 or 3 grants out there, as you know, of course, the CARES grants and other things out there. My suggestion to those applying and on our end, we to go ahead and order and get your order in. Because they're not going to be filled immediately. We have to get the orders in. Now, the commission has had their order in from day 10 into this. And I called yesterday to follow up on that, and there's still no idea as to when we'll receive what we've ordered.
Have you had any of these materials sidetracked to the national stockpile, Rick?
Well, a lot of it was, of course, 3M has facilities outside of the United States. It's manufactured. A lot of it is being diverted to the national stockpile. And we are starting to see more stuff coming in through the national stockpile to our state partners and then forwarded to us. We receive a shipment of PPE about every 2 weeks. It's not what we asked for, but it's pretty close. And Mike Shook's been driving that bus to fill those orders, and we have to scale it down some. But I think eventually we'll get what we need and want, and then hopefully, as the Commissioner Couch just said, if there's a second wave, we need to be prepared. And that's where, some of the things we've been discussing about how to prepare for that and what's next. I mean, at our center, take an example. We're getting at center clean twice a week or twice a month, sanitized. There's a air conditioning heating system that could be put in there that would resolve that. We wouldn't have to do that. I'm sure that there's other county buildings, you may want to take a look at that.
Is that a
It's
special
important
filter?
to get those viruses. Yes, it's a carbon fiber filter with ultraviolet lights that kill the bacteria and keep it going throughout the ducts. There's just some things like that I think we can prepare ourselves for the next go around. And unfortunately, whether it's a virus or whatever, we'll have a next go around with something. So it's just things like that I think we should consider.
Trump was right on the ultraviolet lights.
Yeah, they actually make a carbon fiber filter and an ultraviolet light that goes inside the ventilation systems that kill the bacteria, and the carbon fiber filters eliminate some of through the ventilation ducts to keep it from just recycling. We're looking at that at our center. Of course, the dispatchers are in a 400 square foot room. They're on top of each other. It's important to us to get those things taken care of.
We want to make sure we keep the center safe. Is there a decrease in the call volume?
There is, however, I expect that to start building up as people start venturing back out. I mean, last weekend I went out to pick up some stuff, and I'm sure we all did, and I'm noticing a significant increase in traffic. As people start, venturing back out into society, I would expect those calls will start to rise, and we're watching that. And when it does, if we see the trend start to rise, of course, the sheriff and the local law enforcement folks will be notified, because they're coping too and adapting to this. So as those call rises, stats start to rise, we'll notify you all as to what's taking place.
I've noticed a lot of traffic between 2 and 4:30 to 5, but still after 6 in the evening, there's not a lot of traffic.
That's correct. And generally our busiest times are from 2 in the afternoon to 10 at night.
Okay, that's good news to understand. We want to get to the point where we can offer PPE to those on the front lines in all capacities, those forward-facing individuals. So mom and pop businesses, places that can't even find it to offer it. I've seen a lot of homemade masks. I've seen individuals walking around with homemade face coverings. But I've also seen about 50% of the people not taking any precaution. Kind of concerning.
It is. Commissioner, can I take the opportunity to discuss the CARES grant just a second?
Certainly.
We're getting a lot of inquiry about that, and a lot of it doesn't meet the criteria, and I don't want to beat the dead horse. But we all know that this can't be used for bonuses, this and that, or pay, or anything unless it's COVID-19 related. I think a game plan from the commission as to who can apply for that money and what the money will be used for, I think the sooner that is discussed and decided, and so folks will know who can. I mean, there's a lot of misnomers about what the money can be. Just taking into the air gun scenario I just sent you, that would be a good project for the COVID CARES money. I know some of the elected officials put up shielding and stuff to protect their people. That's all related to that. But I think some guidance into that, and immediately, we can't just give bonuses, pay whatever with that money to people. And we're getting requests from outside agencies, and I think that needs to be addressed.
I think, Marty, am I right in saying it's already addressed in the stipulation that we have, that it cannot be used for that?
It is, but I'm kind of with Rick that if you guys would somehow decide what you're going to dedicate that money to, it would make our job a lot easier. For instance, we got a call right before the meeting about somebody wanting to know how we're going to take care of the first responders with that money. So,
And I agree. The best way right now we can take care of the first responders is to provide them the proper equipment that they need to do their jobs. And I agree with Commissioner Couch on the PPE and other things that we could actually use down the road. And if we have a second front of this, we're already prepared.
Sounds like that filler's a great move, Rick, for the 911 center.
Maybe a good move.
Yeah, I think that's imperative. And I would also suggest, maybe take a look at it, any other buildings you all would think would be appropriate. It really, when the water boiled off the beans, it really wasn't that an expensive venture.
Who are you using for a source, Rick, on that? Is there a local person who does that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We use a local contractor for what we haven't done it yet. We just got estimates and what we were wanting to apply to you all, just to have that done. But yeah, it was a local contractor.
We believe contact tracing is going to be critical. Chasing down those that have it. I know that in Wood County it's not a big number, 39 confirmed, but right over the border in Ohio, 95 confirmed 12-day. Washington County. Wood County's had 2 die. We know that one was not in Wood County when he contracted or passed of it. I think people will start feeling that they're safer, but U.S. test results of 6 million, and we're showing 1 million positives. So 1/6 or 1, I don't know how to do that. Anyway, Rick, keep up getting PPE. We'll figure out how we have to pay for it and if we get reimbursed, but having it on hand for first responders and those people that are facing the public, I think it's really critical. And as a small business owner, I know we're using handmade masks, and gloves are getting in short supply, and we're cleaning cars that somebody may have taken somewhere else. We're trying to do our very best to keep my staff and my customers healthy. because that means I
On the contact tracing, DHHR, and I think this is a very wise move, have reached out to some medical students in their final year and or they're ready to graduate, and they're going to train them on contact tracing. And it's a class you can go to, and they're going to start to bring those folks out into the field once they get trained. But I think that's a great thing on the contact tracing that DHHR's getting ready to implement.
Yeah, I know our local health department has 4 National Guardsmen stationed at the Mid-Ohio Valley main office and 4 more in Ohio County that is their duties. And they're using technology, text messaging, emails, phone calls. So they're not out in the field unless they really get in a bind and have to go contact somebody. We're going to get to the point where someone tests positive and then chooses not to quarantine. And so far that hasn't been an issue for the Mid-Ohio Valley Health Department. We do know that the Wood County schools have talked about graduation ceremonies, and it's all flowing down from the governor to the state health department, to the local health department, to the school board. And of course, me with a senior in high school, June 26th is the date they set for graduation. And I'm not sure how it'll look or how they're going to do it, but I'm sure.
Same way the Air Force Academy did it.
Yeah,
I
spread it
heard
out.
some comments about a drive-up graduation. That'll be
That
good.
was in Ohio. They were talking about it. Drive through, stick your hand out, get a diploma. Might rent a lot of cars for that.
We'll rent cars for that. That'd be good. Rick, would you check this ultraviolet light thing and see if there's any other uses for ultraviolet light, if that is truly a cure for the fire?
They used, you remember old Dr. Prunty? His office was there on 13th and Market. When I forget, he might have been a dermatologist, but if you had an outbreak or something on your legs or something, he would use the I've had that treatment before. It did kill whatever was there.
Seems like I remember ultraviolet light someplace else.
Yeah, we're also looking at the devices that would, you can run over the keyboards, ultraviolet runs over the keyboards and other areas that sanitize the.
You got sanitized.
All right.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's an ultraviolet wand that actually kills some of the bacteria, and we're looking at get some of those also for inside the center.
Anything you can get. You have vacancies on your 911 board?
He does.
I believe we do.
It's got,
I'm not.
It's got Mike Pfeiffer, Steve Stevens, Charlie Myers, Jack Horton, and Lou Pay.
Let's announce the vacancies, and we will await confirmation they would like to come back.
You need a motion to announce the vacancies. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Make it unanimous. Happy days.
Those are people that went off, is that what you're
I feel
saying?
like
They're
I feel like
expired.
The
The terms are expiring at the end
term just
today.
expired.
Today.
We also have a vacancies on the Wood County Parks and Rec.
A vacancy, it's actually, Chris Swarm.
I would announce the vacancy and place his name in nomination. Make that in the form of a motion.
I second it.
Unanimous.
And then we have, it's the Waste Treatment Board, right? It's Mount Wood Waste Treatment Facility. It says.
Yeah, sewerage.
Sewer Board.
Sewerage.
Waste Treatment Facility. I wanted jackets that said Mount Wood and then WTF on the back for the Waste Treatment Facility. But no one would get them.
Are we going to follow the same procedure that we have in the past? We're going to contact the people that are there or have them contacted to see if they are willing to serve again? That's the way it's going to work.
Okay, We have Sarah Farnsworth in the back, socially distant, to discuss properties located at 603 Martown Road.
603 Martown Road was the property that had a large amount of debris and trash on it. The property owners did remove the trash, but the house, the engineer did a report and ruled it unfit and unsafe. At the last commission meeting that we talked about this property, you guys ordered to give them 30 days to meet the
Clean up or
recommendations.
something?
Yeah, meet the recommendations of the report or have it demolished. There's a gentleman that stays in the house with one of the owners, and he wanted to fix it up.
Has he had any progress?
No progress. I was there yesterday. We posted it condemned by your orders, and there's been no progress. I sent out a certified letter to both property owners who gave me that address, is a good address to send the letters to. Those letters were never signed for. I attempted to reach one of the property owners via telephone. They haven't answered the call, but there's no way to leave a message for them and ask them to call me either.
Where I think that Pat's advice on these properties was, in light of the circumstances, that we carry these over till things open back up, but we've done our due diligence advertising wise and notification wise. That's why we have to go ahead and talk about these today, because that way we won't have to re-advertise. Or we will have to have a date before.
So we'll have another date where we can demand they come after the COVID.
Well, we've demanded they come now, so, I mean, if you order them there at that date, we can send that out too.
Let's do so.
Sarah, I'd suggest that you do a drive-through.
Up there, do a motion on that.
Trailer park on Skyline Road. I
That was
did.
one, yeah,
We're
the
coming
other day.
to it on the agenda.
yeah.
But let's get a motion to notify the property owners at Martown Road.
I make that motion.
Second,
To
Okay.
appear before the commission.
at a later date.
At a later date, once this opens back up.
Okay.
I put something like they've got a unique opportunity. We would be moving forward if it wasn't for the COVID. Maybe they can actually work on the property. North Power Ave,
This was
1003.
This was one of the properties that we did advertise in the paper about today's meeting. There's been nothing done there. Nobody's reached out to me. It's still the same property, still has a partial, what it has is a basement on it that's covered, but the covering's rotted. If somebody would go out and step on that floor, they're gonna fall through. And there's an outbuilding, I believe, on it that's partially, torn down.
So this is one, we've advertised, we have no contact with the owners. So this one needs knocked down.
This one needs cleaned up at a minimum.
I think, I don't know, I just think
We wanna wait or,
we're on the edge with
yeah.
close meetings.
Sorry, I can't find a meeting with that number.
Hello? 2702 Division.
This is another property that was, advertised. There's several heirs to this property. We're in the same position. Nothing's been done. Nobody's notified me.
If somebody's on the call trying to dial another call, hang the hell up. No contact from owners, not responsive to certified letters.
I sent a certified letter to the one heir that I have contact with, to the address that she gave me in Ohio, and she did not sign for that certified letter.
Twelve 825 Harris Highway.
This one, after our meeting, did some more digging and found out that this house is in foreclosure. An attorney has it out of Charleston. They're trying to sell it, but their holdup is there's a glitch in the deed. I believe there was a land contract on record for that property, so they're trying to get that cleared before they can sell it. But this property is trashed. There's a large amount of debris on it. That was one that was also publicized. The homeowner, the deed is still in the homeowner's name. So that gentleman, we publicized it. I had reached out to him with several certified letters of addresses that I obtained, and there's no contact.
But you've talked to an attorney.
That has it in foreclosure, yes, sir.
It appears to be way back off the road, is it?
No, this is not too far. See where that, if you go to the left right there where your arrow is, that little like U
That
shape
looks
right
like
there?
it's back up in the woods or something.
No, it's not. You can see it from the road and it's.
Is it down here?
It's that, and then the trailer back here to your right. It's a large piece of property there. I'm thinking 12 acres, maybe 9 to 12 acres.
But both structures are in trouble.
Yes, severe dilapidation. The trailer on your right is stripped of all the outside, the exterior siding, and it's exposed, completely exposed. There's insulation, and there's actually still furniture in that trailer. Somebody has stripped it of the siding. So
Once again,
this one was another one that was publicized.
what are you thinking, Marty? Based on Pat's recommendation?
I would ask Pat, because if we go in there and spend any money, we want to be sure that we can force the sale of the property to get our money back, or have a chance of getting it forced.
Is it a larger tract of ground? It's not just a lot.
No, it's a large tract. I'm thinking 12 acres, but I don't know.
That takes us to the last one, 56 Gardenia Drive.
Yes, this is a trailer that's in that trailer park right there off of Guyon Road. We had, the health department had initially called me and said, hey, you see this trailer? It's leaning downhill, it looks like.
Oh, I remember those pictures.
Yeah, so, Maria did a report. Her report indicated that's an imminent danger and needed taken care of quickly, so I notified, sent a certified letter to North Carolina to, the gentleman that owns the property there, and he signed for it, and the only thing they've done to that trailer, I was there yesterday, is they, secured it with 2 tie downs to the rear of the trailer with, there's like a clip that comes up and goes around the frame of the trailer, and then it's tied anchored to the ground. I took pictures and sent that to Maria, and I said, would that be considered a temporary safeguard? She said, absolutely not. So that's the only thing they've done on that trailer. There's actually more windows busted out of it. There's more trash. The whole trailer park is progressively, quickly, getting worse.
Dilapidated.
Yes, the whole, not just that one, but now one.
Okay. Well, when we can, notify the owner that he should appear before us, and we've had this before, Homan?
Their home, and I think it's Meadowbrook, isn't he?
No, he owned it. Originally, there was a home out of California, and it's a different guy.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that?
Might as well.
So I'll make a motion.
So what are we motioning to do?
Notify
this guy.
him that he will be called before commission after the COVID reopening
And I'll get some updated.
for the
pictures.
whole
The whole
facility.
trailer park. And
They try to make the claim that I don't own that trailer, it's owned by somebody else. We really don't care. It's like having a junk car on an empty lot. I don't care if that's your junk car or not your junk car, that's a junk car on your property. So deal with it or else we're gonna have to.
Several of those trailers have written on them, sold, trailer sold.
yeah, I seen
Yeah.
one yesterday, but
They went and bought them somewhere else, placed them on the lot. Do you remember when we made him take one off and it turned up on like Spider Ridge?
Yeah.
Burned out.
Alongside the road.
Alongside the road. So he hired a company to take it out, they just drove it out in the woods and set it on fire. So we don't wanna make a bad situation worse, but there are people living there actively
In different trailers.
in different trailers, not necessarily that one, but it's in bad
And
condition.
that, the trailer that's, leaning downhill, we marked it condemned and placarded it after the last meeting.
And then Sarah, you got called out Sunday night.
We did. Deputy Matheny called me in regards to a mudslide in, Oak Acres down at Washington Bottom. They had a resident that was, hesitant to leave or evacuate, because of the mudslide. Their house, the deputy felt their house was in danger, coming over the hill, the resident didn't want to leave. So myself and, Maria went to the scene, and, there's one house, I believe it's 293 acres, that was significantly damaged. That house,
So it's 293 Oak
Acres,
Acres.
Washington, West Virginia.
If you haven't seen it, it looks like a giant ski slope. I'd say the slide is half mile at least, isn't it?
I think Maria said about 200,
More than
So
200
it's
feet.
these houses right here.
yes. So 293, I believe.
It's a long slip. If you haven't seen it, it's worth looking. We're driving down there to see.
So the house that took the most damage, it was pushed off its foundation completely. And the garage is leaning forward from the house. You see a separation in the roof between the garage and the house. In the back of the house, it appears that the rafters are coming through the roof. Roof is coming into a V shape in the back. The mud is against the back of the house. So Marie, that night, did a walk around, and all the residents, there's 4 of them right there that were affected. They agreed to leave their homes for 24 hours, and that we would come back in the morning and reevaluate and reassess the situation, which is what Maria and I did. We allowed one of the residents to come back into his home because his house was not damaged. While there was a tree down, the tree wasn't in danger of coming in on the house. There was no physical damage to his residence. The water appears to be coming down the hill but away from his residence. So we allowed him back in his home. 293, by order, or by the ordinance, in Maria's report, we did condemn that house because it is in imminent danger and it's unsafe. So I placarded the house. And the day that I went, it was the next day I went to placard the house, and those residents, after being told, do not go in that structure, it is unsafe, one wrong move in there. It was still creaking the day after. There was still movement. So we advised them to please do not go in this house. We understand, it's a bad situation and it's really sad and unfortunate. We can't allow you in there for your own safety. So when I went back to placard it, there was at least 20 people in that house bringing stuff out. So the property owner came outside the residence. I was like, come on guys, you gotta go. I told you we can't do this. That house is unsafe. Structurally, it's gonna come down. So he was like, Sarah, come on, just give me 25 more minutes, please, because I'm like, no. I'm not gonna lose my job for y'all. This is a safety issue. If somebody gets killed in here, we can't do this. So he was like, well, do what you gotta do. He said, I'm getting my stuff out of this house.
So you tasting?
Huh? Tasting? So I said, I'm gonna call law enforcement. He's like, please don't call law enforcement. I was like, you're leaving me no choice. If you don't get the people out of this house, I'm calling law enforcement. Well, I'm getting my stuff out. And the people were just, there was 14 and 15-year-old kids in there, in this house, pulling stuff out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I called law enforcement, 2 deputies responded, and the deputy, the approached the landowner and said, hey, you know what, it's an unfortunate situation, I'm sorry that you're here, you know. He said that, you've already been warned by Officer Farnsworth not to be in this house and you're in here. So he goes, I'm not gonna write you a citation. He said, I'm gonna start arresting people. He said, they're your friends and family, they're going to listen to you. He said, so you've got a choice to make, get them out of the house, or I'm gonna start, if one more person goes in there, I'm gonna start arresting them. So he started pulling people out of the house, and as they're coming out of the house, they're bringing stuff to the door to be carried out. So they carried a significant amount of stuff from the house down to the road. But there was no citations or anything issued or arrests at that point. To my knowledge, they've not been back in the house.
But we're not posting guards.
But we're not posting guard, but I did placard it condemned, and the homeowner
Is this the homeowner that we think tried to do construction behind his house?
it wasn't construction, but I guess a couple of weeks prior to this mudslide, he'd been having, maybe even months, mud coming down off the hill. So he had a contractor come in there and do some work removing that dirt. And
Wasn't the best solution.
You take the bottom out, the top's gonna slide on there.
so,
It'd be different, like, when I got the call, I said it'd be different if, he had like a trucking company dropping a load of rock, trying to stabilize it, instead of having a bulldozer trying to remove the mud.
You take the bottom out, it's gonna slide.
We've all played in the sand, we know what happens.
yeah, so we stopped all work there. Maria talked to the contractor that was going to, he was there that morning. The next morning, the contractor was there by order, from what I understand, by order of
Well,
the insurance
potentially.
agent to go in there and get the mud off that house. And Maria said, absolutely not. You cannot do that without some kind of safeguards, you know, on that hillside before you remove that mud.
Because we have a structure above on a hill behind it.
Yes, that gentleman, we went to his house that night. His home is not in danger, his home's not on the side of the slide, but he does have a carport and a.
So this here,
Trying to see. That doesn't appear to be the right.
I'm not at the right property.
You wanna be on the back, on this back.
There's Oak Acres Circle.
So if you go in, you go right, you wanna be on this back side, you're clear to the back. No,
Over
back,
here?
To your right,
To my right.
yes.
You really have to look at the hill, the whole hillside, don't you, Sarah?
Yeah.
Is it this on
Yes,
the dead
that's-
end?
It's that section right there, buddy.
Oh, okay.
But the gentleman up on the hill, has been by his own admission, he's been having several years of,
Subsidence.
land eroding, and he's been trying to fill it in, and he's been up there doing a lot of excavating, so, Maria and I visited him and put a stop to anything he's doing up there. Anything he does from this point on has to be approved by Maria, because he has a, carport that is within 2 feet of going over an embankment. So,
Do you think it's this guy's property?
yes, it absolutely is,
So that whole hillside.
yes.
There's gonna be lawsuits, and I'm glad that we have you on the job, and Maria. We wish you thank
Maria's
you.
really been an asset.
Yes, she's done a really good job. It's by order of our ordinance, she does the report, and then based on her
We're not allowed
recommendations,
this stuff.
whether we placard or condemn it. So that we follow the ordinance and we, there's still 2 residences on that back of that road that are not in their homes. Of course, the one is the 293 with the significant damage, and then the other one is 313. We asked that they not return to their residence, which we gave them time to get a lot of their property out. Their house at 313 has not been damaged, but the ground around it is just saturated. Like there's water setting all around that property, and where that slide's coming down, if it continues to come down that hill, it's gonna come right down into this property that's already saturated and possibly, into their backyard as well.
We have potential problem because power's been out sporadically in buildings, and right now, like for instance, the Justice Center, they cannot dial into this meeting and they cannot see it on YouTube because our website isn't working down there, but it's working here. It's probably working in buildings that haven't experienced problems with meeting, open meeting, not just.
We're doing our due diligence, trying our very utmost to make sure this meeting is broadcast out.
And it's saved afterwards, so when it does
Yeah.
come back up, if somebody can't.
But Chris has another microphone that came damaged, but it would be available for us to use and put near Sarah or whoever might be sitting there. We're still honoring the socially distant guidelines. We're doing our very best. And technology with Chris, we've got a microphone, camera, and our call-in. So we're trying to do this as best we can, and it's on the fly.
On my way here, I'm gonna call it the East End Worthington Golf Course, all the way through where I live, all the way down 7th Street, all that electricity is on. I saw on Facebook this morning that some areas of Latrobe Street and that area, the electricity is off. So there's nothing we can do to control that.
There may be a planned outage, because I saw something on.
Yeah, there was an email from Tim Trangley.
But I think the point is that if somebody wasn't able to tune in live because of power problems, it is out there on our YouTube, and you can pull it back up and watch the entire meeting.
Good point, Marty.
That was a Tuesday power outage, so I'm unsure. But I noticed a traffic light out on my way here.
Tuesday before last, our whole area was out. The restaurant, we did not open because there was no power.
Sarah, thank you for being out on a cold and wet Sunday night. And I really want to say how much I appreciate you didn't say, but Blair, you probably should be here. I'm a I'm not a first responder, I'm a third responder.
Just to let you gentlemen know, the residents at 293, Maria expressed to them, in order for them to even be able to get back in that residence, the contractor, his contractor needs to contact our office and come up with a plan of action that's approved by Maria before we'll let them enter that residence.
Hey, Sam, ask him if he's closing down the whole building or just this court, because with Celeste and all that. Probation.
We closing buildings due to power outage. Steve, I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying based on power outage?
Well, I would assume that to be. I was on the conference call just fine, and then the phone went completely dead. And now I just got a text that Judge Bean is closing the annex over there because there's no power.
Bean did not send us notification.
Well, he didn't send it to me either. I got through my bailiff, and I'm trying to get verification.
Please advise when you know. I'm sure Bean would talk to Celeste. But Marty will text her and find out what's going on.
Compressor,
The generator?
or generator.
So we have a generator down here for our building, but the internet is still not working. I can't log into the Wood County page to pull up.
That probably means, are you with Cass or with Suddenly?
We have cash.
Probably then, if that's the case, Cass is having problems. with no electricity.
We're on Frontier.
But I'm trying to get a confirmation on what's going on at the internet.
Well, we know there's wires down on Latrobe Street and has a circuit locked out. Crews should be switching to isolate and pick up most of it pretty quickly.
That was early this morning
Is
too.
that the sheriff on the line or is that Dave?
That was sneaky, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Daily.
Thank you.
You look a day older, but that's okay.
I feel years older.
If you have a rebirth and growing hair, let me know. Chris would like to know that too.
He's gonna get a transplant.
I've got plenty of hair. It's not very nice.
Yeah, I can't even call Jeff Bean's office. The phone's not working.
What do we want to do?
Steve, I think
Well,
the
we can't do
sheriff
anything
might
except you're
front
gonna
line
get
go to
in
the
action.
courthouse. That's why the phones aren't working, I'm sure.
They call it cell phone.
Well, is there anything else on this meeting we need to discuss or cover?
No, the only thing, and I would reemphasize what we said before, is what are you guys desire to define how we're gonna lock that money up, or are we just gonna?
Yeah, put it on the agenda for Monday,
Okay.
and we will come to a determination on the leaning. We have a conference call this afternoon at 12:30 with the health department. Here, I'm gonna be holding it here with, I think Dr. Warden's coming. And we're talking about the emergency measures we're taking at the health department. We're providing the contact tracing. We're providing guidance to a variety of sources, and we're tracking each and every positive COVID.
Who is doing the testing where?
Testing, once again, by doctor's order.
Who is doing it?
I cannot say.
Oh, I thought the health department.
The health department does not have a lab.
No, I'm not saying who's reading the test, I'm saying who is physically sticking the probe up somebody's nose.
They're doing it on Rosemar Road at a doctor's office for WVU Health. And that's where you can get it done, but you have to get a doctor's order to be able to get it. Then at Quick Care and MedExpress, they're doing it through LabCorp. I am unaware if they back up the CDC guideline before they provide that swab. So they're still trying to make sure at the WVU Health System, Camden Clark, that they're not overwhelming the system with tests that are just going to come back negative. Now, the governor ordered all testing of daycare just recently. We're not real sure what that means, but the National Guard are conducting the tests at the nursing homes. And so, just like we found one positive at the nursing home on Guyon Road, they're still awaiting other test results. So, it may be bigger or smaller, but it is an outbreak. I don't have a recent email from anybody. I emailed this morning really early. I did have a message exchange with Glenn Kelly. I'm going to try to author a letter today in support of his operation.
I want to announce that the airport meeting is moved to the 19th of May.
Hopefully you'll be able to have it face to face. You could do it in the lobby. That'd be awesome.
They're going to do it in the restaurant, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Can I, Marty, before this comes up for us to take a look at what we should do with this money, could you check with the 2 or 3 other counties?
It seems to me that, and I've been in on the blogs where all the counties are talking about this.
Yes.
And outside of Kanawha County, who immediately gave the $100,000 to the city of Charleston, the other counties seem to be in the same predicament we're in.
Okay,
They don't know for sure what they're allowed to spend it on, and they haven't, as far as I know, no county's committed yet.
Rome County, Calhoun County, and Ritchie County stuck the check in a drawer. They haven't deposited
We stuck
the
ours
check.
in the drawer over at the bank.
That's the smart.
Well, anyway, if you can come up with any potential thoughts
Right, but
on,
we're getting, this is gonna keep getting bigger and bigger as far as requests, if you know.
yeah, I know, but we're gonna limit it down, but I like to see how the people are thinking on what they might be doing.
Maybe we should give them
Angie, have
that.
we heard anything from Judge Bean? Can you check and see, supposedly he's closed down that building?
Did you run over?
We have not heard from him, and for whatever reasons, the phones will work until I try to call his office, and over in that building, the phone lines are not.
And we've got our main IT guy, our county administrator here. I'd like to wrap this meeting up so we can start trying to track this problem down.
Move we adjourn.
Second. Chris?
Judge Mayor, yeah.